I mean, if you're gonna make a movie called The Woman King, who else are you gonna cast? Like, come on, really? The Woman King is directed by Gina Prince Bythewood. It stars Viola Davis in the titular leading role, and this is a movie about actual historical events that took place in which a woman began to take over her own nation many years ago, and she had to lead them through hardship. She had to lead them through war and past enemies and have them help fight for survival and be that leader, and she had to prove herself all along the way. That's my best description of this movie, because this is a film with a huge scope, a massive, massive cast, and just tons of amazing performances. And it's one of the really big epic films we've had this year. We haven't had many, but it's also because of the parts of the year we've been in. We have the summer blockbuster phase, where we have the big in-your-face action films. But now that's phasing out, and we're finally getting to those meaty films, the ones that can sometimes be nominated for an Oscar, and this is one of those. I was super impressed by this movie. This film has such a wide scope. It is sweeping, it is truly an epic, and it's amazing. I've heard some people, talking about how it could be considered a classic in the future. I truly think it will. Just alone, just the historic part of this, it has a very rich, deep feel to it. It's just really great. It just pulled me in throughout the entire movie. It's akin to other great films that we've seen. Any epic you want to mention that's like older, it's like that, and it has such a feeling of realism throughout the entire thing. And it's got sorrow, and it has pain, it has emotions, it has bravery. You truly understand what Viola Davis's character, who is this woman who's now trying to lead her entire nation, is going through. She has to be that person who can hold them up, and her performance is nothing short of Oscar worthy. I want to see her be nominated for this performance because it is so great. Viola Davis is always a great actress whenever she's on screen. This is absolutely not an exception. This is one of her better performances. This is one of my favorite performances of her now, and it's rare that we see a film that is willing to just take so much and throw it all together, because now budgets are oftentimes more contained, they're not as wide, they're not as big, and this is a film done right. Because a lot of times when you throw this much money at something and these many stars, it can go very, very wrong. But this is not. The direction is dead drop wonderful, gorgeous in this movie. How they got this to be as good as it is nothing short of a miracle, because this, I cannot even imagine trying to shoot this. This is just something that's not oftenly going to be good because of how much work you have to put into it. The score, my God, is amazing in this movie. It's basically a flawless movie as far as I'm concerned, minus the fact that I think we could have done a little bit better with some of the characterization. I wasn't a fan of the runtime necessarily. I think I needed, as crazy as it sounds, a little more time with the characters, but that's not to say this movie isn't good. This movie's fantastic. This is a movie you need to see in the theater as well. This is a made-for-theater movie. This is one of the reasons we need to keep seeing movies in a theater, is because films like this, these are films that lend themselves to a big screen experience. When it starts going and there's an action, and there's a lot of it, it goes, man, and it hits hard in this movie. It is good, brutal action, and this movie pulls it all off with a PG-13 rating, meaning it'll probably do really, really well at the box office while getting as realistic as it does. And the entire film, the atmosphere, everything is wonderful. It was moving. This film genuinely hit me emotionally. This is just something that I'm so glad was made. I can't express all my love for it. I'm trying to convey it into words. It was that good, and I love it. I'm going to give The Woman King a 9 out of 10. So thank you guys as always so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you all.